I just asked because you said you liked it, and I know that you just have a low tolerance for people being fake that way. So it made me think.
Hate fake.
Maybe you didn't
hate
know
when people are fake.
All the details, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like when people are fake. That's true. And I think it goes back to when I, had that. I mean, I accidentally had sex with a doll that I thought was a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that sort of raised your awareness about fake stuff.
Well, how dangerous it can be.
Mm-hmm. Not knowing what's real and, yeah.
And some of the science now where they're trying to do these simulators and these hologram and the 3D printing and all of it, and I'm like, well, it's slippery slope.
It's like they're trying to trick you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel that way.
We have a great guest today. Nick Weiger is here. He, you know him from Funny or Die.
The doll was a girl. It looked like a girl. I'm not saying.
No.
No, I just said I'm fine with the Michael Sam, and I am. If he really is that, or I don't know if you're trying to trick me. But when I had sex with the doll.
Yeah, it was it's had big.
Well, and for people who don't know the whole story, somebody had put a radio right behind its head.
So you think,
so I did think it was talking to me.
Singing, yeah. What song?
So raise your glass if you're nitty gritty.
Yeah. And so you
never be anything but lie.
It's a very strong signal. You hear that, you think. What else are you going to think? When you hear something, someone is looking right at you singing that song.
Yeah, so. Anyway, you were going to do the guests.
Yes, we have a great guest today. Nick Weiger is here, and he's done Funny or Die, and now he writes for At Midnight, and he's a writer-performer, and he's very good, and he's going to talk to us all about viral content and technology, very soon coming right up on Hollywood Handbook.
Were you making fun of me?
When?
The whole thing just now. It just feels like you're laughing at me or something.
The fact that you would say that to me now after after you went through that whole thing, and that I put a fair amount of time into working with you about that, didn't I? Do I have so much time that I can come to your house right away when you're thinking about it too much?
Well, that's what made me scared about it. Is if you're this sort of. And I don't see you as this kind of person, but if you're this sort of ghoulish sort of figure who just seizes on the fact that I'm vulnerable, because when I learned it, as you know, I got pretty scared and got pretty violent with myself.
I mean, and I don't want to take this back at you, but the fact that you would make that assumption about me. That this is something I would do with my, I have things going on. I can't just take, we took a trip.
I know that.
We took a trip together about this.
Yeah.
To the factory.
Yeah, we had to go.
So you could see
how they make the doll.
That
and
this is just a doll.
And that there are several of the kind that I was with, and
it's not, and there's no attachment there,
and that's what they're for. Yeah,
and they don't love anybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes.
Remember, we had to.
Yeah, we talked to all the employees. Yes. No. I know.
That wasn't. I
feel so self-conscious around it, and the fact that I know so much about it.
That's what it is. I know that's
it makes me almost scared that I am going to get, pow, surprise, you're getting recorded. I mean, I know this is recorded, but in all the things I'm doing that you're trying to somehow do a Jamie Kennedy experiment thing with me or something like this.
But I'm getting it on both ends, because when we went to the factory, you were saying that was a Jamie Kennedy experiment as well. You remember that?
Yes. Well, yes.
Saying that that it was a real thing.
Well, that it wasn't a real factory, and it was
that it was
sort
a real
of
factory,
a Jamie Kennedy style thing where you'd set up the factory.
That I had set up the factory to X you.
Yes.
But and now that now that it's not that anymore, it seems like I'm one way or another I'm Jamie Kennedy experimenting you. There's nothing I can do.
No, I hope that you're not. No, you're doing it right now. You're just being honest. But I can't ask. I mean, it's pretty scary to get X'd. Like, that's a real fear that people have in this town specifically.
You can. I mean, there's a difference between asking. And I know you're just on. Like, your awareness is so heightened, and you're very skittish now. After sort of what's happened,
Emmanuel told me that you're the one who put the radio there, and that's what I haven't told you, and that's why.
Who told you that?
Emmanuel told me that you were the one who put the radio there, so that's why I'm nervous, because it's a very convenient placing where it really does make it seem like the head is talking or singing.
That I put it behind the doll. And
she saw you put the radio, which was an odd place for the radio, because it was on a windowsill.
And I played a song that I know you find provocative.
Pretty sensual. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say it started as one thing.
An Xing.
Okay. What it became and like what you did is not what I anticipated would happen. Just like the degree of it.
The proposing and
no, everything before that.
Just the aggressive nature of
just the way it went down.
Because I did it in a mean way.
It was a little mean.
Yeah.
And so
some of the language
was not good. That's actually not what I'm talking about.
Because some of the words are not,
We don't have,
I mean, you know as well as I do. That's, I was using the N-word or
all of that. As it was happening, I'm watching this thinking like, should I, now do I go stop it?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I can because
afraid you lose your hand, yeah.
And so after that, I'm yes, it did it started as an Xing, yes. Ever since then, I feel like I've been trying to, to make it something else.
Well, and I think that what we both found out is that maybe what I had some stuff that I did need to work through, whether we did it at a doll factory or whether we did it on our trip.
It ended up being a nice thing, yes.
And I feel closer to you, but I did want to know because I did think it was an Xing.
Right. Well, you seemed...
And now I'm not so nervous that you're trying to still do it to me because I really sniffed it out.
Well, yes, because the sense that you had is that somewhere, at some point, an Xing was happening to you.
I was getting X'd.
Since it happened until now, you've just been trying to basically find the X that in your life history. And doesn't it feel better now that you found it?
And I do feel better, and thank you for admitting that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that wasn't easy. And I love you.
I love you too. We have a great guest today. Nick Weiger's here, and he's from Funny or Die. Coming right up on Hollywood Handbook.